All right. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Doing very well, Robert.
So, how's it been here in Habilitat? You've been here for 2 weeks doing the FasterEFT Healing Marathon with the addiction protocol. So how's it been?
I'd say it's one of the most significant life-changing experiences in my life.
Oh, very good. Now, why do you say that? What is it that made it that way?
The people, and that includes you and the practitioners that have come to work with these people, work with those that are the first time coming, like myself, and the changes that I felt in myself, as well as the residents that we've worked with. And that's just not only during session, it's during the day, it's during dinners, breakfast, lunch, all the time. Listen to them during game, listen to them during the general meeting, watching how it works, the whole experience.
So, I mean, you're a level 3 practitioner, working on your level 4. You've seen the videos about Habilitat. You submitted
my request to come to Habilitat.
And what were your thoughts before you got here? What did you expect when you got here? How did you feel? How was it for you?
Well, Robert, when I first found your videos, it's maybe 2 years now, looking for things that ever more effectively to change myself and the people that I work with, and saw a number of your videos. And then I saw one that you did here in Habilitat, 166, 116, can't remember, but I came across that. And I saw how you worked with that individual and how they went from a great deal of pain and trauma and suffering and were able to let that go. And I figured that if I could even begin to approach that type of effectiveness, that'd be good for myself as well as the people I work with. And wanted to come. So at that moment is when I decided to get training, go through Robert Smith's level 1, level 2, level 3, and do a follow-up. You know, in level 1, practice the addiction protocol at home, and then come here to experience it for myself. But that was the decision, was following you on the YouTube videos, and then watching how you worked with the addiction protocol.
Very good. And then coming here, arriving here, how did you feel?
You know, when I came, I was welcomed. Got here a Friday night, late, probably about 9 o'clock, something like that. And welcomed as the FasterEFT family when I walked in that door. And that was not because of me. That was because of the groundwork that had been laid by you and the experienced practitioners that have been coming here for many years now. And I was accepted without hesitation, welcomed. And that is because of what preceded me here. Yeah.
So you were here, of course this is all new basically, you know, we got experienced practitioners working with you, training you. We sent you a long list of videos to watch, the secret videos on the addiction protocol, what to expect. Was it what you expect? How did it go?
I found that life is never what I expect. But what that was preparation. It was like a little tiny window into the experience. Reading Vinny's book, who formed Habilitat, that recommended reading that Jeff sent out requesting us to read that. That was a gift in itself. And then Deirdre had gone through that book as if it was an intake, to read that book as if it was an intake with a client. And she would, the way she broke out what questions, just through the whole process, when I read it the second time, it was with that eye. It was wonderful practice of even reading that book and looking at it from the approach of asking the FasterEFT protocol questions for addiction, and then and how do you know their worldview, how do you know their core drivers, how does their mind view and worldview. Excellent exercise. And then also Jeff Nash sent out, and he did those videos showing actually demonstrating how each of the drugs we're working with are used all the way across the board. And then once more, Deirdre kindly had outlined those videos so that if you watch those videos, which I did multiple times, and referred to her outline, then that really gave me the picture of how it worked, but also a structure to follow. And then when I came here, Robert, you guys did the same thing. We had our first Monday meeting, getting together, and you know, Kim, you started out laying out the structure, how it worked. Very nice addition to what you did in level 3. And if people want to learn addiction protocol, your level 3 training was just fabulous. You know, your demonstrations, but that's a part of it. I needed that structure too, and that's the template that the experienced practitioners developed. The one that Kim and Deirdre handed out complemented and just dovetailed with what you had spoken, and then the structure that Kim brought to how we do what we've learned and those examples, but really getting it down to a very pragmatic, methodical, strategic approach was just fabulous. Just fabulous. I can't even imagine where else in the world I could have gotten that gift.
And of course, working here with the individuals, seeing, you know, because you've seen the videos, YouTube, this guy's sweating and reaction to drugs, and then the next part of the video, see him just push it away and have no desire. There's a big difference between those 2 points. And there's the gap in between is what we're doing, which is what?
Well, we're applying the FasterEFT addiction protocol, art of change, and all the things that you've taught us to very significant emotional trauma. I'll give you one example. I mean, a number of the people that I worked with started using 10 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old. Half of their life, fully half of their life, has been addicted to heroin, meth, you know, drugs, coke, marijuana, alcohol. Half of their life. And so they are here because they are truly at the bottom. You know, they are serious about the change. And this one fellow, his parents were addicted to meth, 6 years old. You know, one of his siblings got hit with a hammer. The family, his kids were taken out of that, put into foster care, heavily abusive. And he took care of, he was the oldest, he was 6 years old, took care of his siblings, eventually got them through his own courage into adopted, okay, and signed up for the military, went to Afghanistan, witnessed a lot of trauma there, as well as his best friend getting incinerated and an MV just right in front of him. And he started drinking in the military, could not stay sober, ended up getting a dishonorable discharge because he couldn't stay sober, got out, immediately started using meth, coke, and became severely addicted. Okay, so he showed up here 23 years old or so, and was waking up nightly with the screams in his head here. All right, we did 2 sessions with him, 4 hours, and he's not waking up. He's sleeping well. He just changed, Robert, and that was through applying just the helping him address his memories in a way that he could control his response. He was in cause of his response to his emotions. He still had the events, but it empowered him to have choice in how he moved forward on a moment-by-moment basis, and that's the power of FasterEFT when you're doing very, very severe emotional trauma. So that's one example of many.
So you went in and you helped with transforming how he held, represented, and felt about this trauma.
Totally correct. That's exactly what I did.
And so here's another thing that most people don't realize. You know, they call it a disease, but why did the disease kick in after an emotional trauma? Why did it kick? I know. But why did it kick in when you know, your life is wonderful, you feel good, you have no desire to use, but when the crap hits the fan and life is really down, all of a sudden, did Z's kick in? Or that your inability to deal with your emotions?
He had no ability. He had no tools to deal with his emotions.
Yeah.
The model he had were his parents who were meth addicts, and the second parents after that were very, very physically abusive. He had no models.
No.
And no ability, no skills to process his emotion, and he's smart. So once through FasterEFT we were able to have him experience the tools, Robert, and then teach him how to use the tools on a daily basis, he transformed.
Yeah.
He transformed.
And now he can use it wherever he goes.
He is using it daily.
Yeah. That's good. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's fascinating. It is a gift beyond words. You know, I always appreciated hearing your journey, your own search, how you explored all these different modalities and way of doing it, seeking your own healing, and then that discovery, always asking questions. And even now, I've been working with you just under 2 years, and even in that time, seeing the change, how you change, how you're always looking for how can we do this faster, more effectively. The flexibility with tools that genuinely work, and that drive for exploration in terms of how can people truly heal from significant emotional trauma. So I really appreciate what you've done and what you do a lot.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you're here too.
Thank you.
Take it back home and help the people in your neighborhood and families, and see if we make a difference in the world.
Yeah, it's looking good on that. Here, there's no doubt that we're changing people's lives and gave them hope that they did not have before. And I'm also humbled by Habilitat itself. The structure that Habilitat has and brings to people who have had no structure except for one created through pain and trauma, and introducing them into what it's like to have a family, what it's like to be honest, integrity, to watch each other's back, not in a way of covering up, but a way of helping someone correct and have the opportunity to see where they're not clear with themselves. That structure is phenomenal. It is difficult, but it is phenomenal. These guys are learning structure that they can actually take out into the street again, where they have their own war. I mean, this is where they get in that front line of drugs and that temptation, and people, how they got started in the first place, getting triggered with those emotional pains. That structure, plus the tools they have through FasterEFT in order to address those emotional triggers when they come up, is empowering them beyond words, I can say.
Definitely. Hey, thank you, Ken, for being here.
Thank you, Robert, for inviting me.
Good job.
Say